The number of times this season of Made in Abyss has left me damn near speechless and just given you that bruh moment of not knowing what to say, not knowing what to think, but just say pain. Pain is all we know when watching Made of the Abyss. And holy shit, man, like, you knew Reg would be okay. Like, there's no way he gets, like, that kill blow, but you are worried because how they end the episode. It's pretty worrying, because even if obviously he wouldn't die in that moment, it's like there's a lot of things that could happen and have happened to him that might be able to be argued a fate worse than death, but how they quickly bait you in with that being your main thought entering the episode, and how they quickly just shatter that expectation, and the way they go about Phaptis' kind of self-destruction, because there's so many conflicting feelings about the village, about her drive for revenge, what she feels happened to her mother, and then as soon as the whole memory transfer kicks in with that kind of sacrifice, the one thing that wasn't consumed, just to see her so confused because, you know, you're seeing these things that are completely different than the pain she's dealt with her entire life. There was a genuine mother connection to her. You have these memories that are wholesome, they're adorable, and also there's memories that are disgusting. And to see her get the full picture rather than just the pain that she's been basically being just tormented with her entire existence, it's interesting to see how much it messes with her and how quickly they reestablish what it is she needs to do by having all of these monsters, all these creatures come in and start eating. Which is really no different than what she was doing to the villagers. She was ripping them apart. She was being more violent in ways than a lot of these creatures are, who are just eating to survive sort of a thing. But the way they go about her revenge being like, how dare you take that away from me? Like, that's my prey, that's my kill. And then how she starts getting bodied. And the bodying was insane. I remember, I'm not sure if people like saw a lot of this like I did, but there was content creators, there was social media people who were like kind of fear-mongering that this season of Made in the Abyss would completely be censored, that it'd be a censored mess. And just look at us now, man. Like, if just imagining like this is one of those pie on the face moments. I'm pretty sure everyone who thought it was going to be censored are happy to have pie on their face, because this season is bloody, it's brutal, and they're not pulling their punches in the slightest. But the thing that has really got me with these latest episodes isn't the visuals, which, don't get me wrong, they do it justice. It is grotesque. I mean, the number of times you see limbs ripped apart or heads being gnawed on, the skin and just what they did visually, it's exactly what it looks like it should be for what they're detailing is happening. But the thing that gets me with the disgusting, beautiful atmosphere is actually the sound design. I've complimented it before, from the voice actors, Phaptis' voice actress just continuing to step it up a notch after already stepping it up a notch 10 times already. Honestly, in this episode, the sound effects are probably the key star in this episode. There was so many sounds that were just so disgusting that it just, like, if you go back and listen to some of that stuff with headphones on, it is bone-chilling. It's so grotesque. It's just mesmerizingly depressing. And just the way they went about this destruction to ending on the most chaotic, beautiful, disgusting moment I think the show has shown us. Where you have all these villagers willingly sacrificing their limbs to feed her after being bodied so hard, I'm pretty sure every bone in her body was destroyed and then some. And to see how this moment where it's so weird, but it's so perfect, and I think it captures the atmosphere that this girl's going through. So as she's getting fed limbs and literally just eating people around her because they want her to recharge and power up, there's a creature that pops up and grabs one of them, right? In normal circumstances, the character who got saved there would then save said person and move on. Instead, what Phaptis does is she rips the prey, one of the people helping her, away from this creature after seemingly giving it a kill blow, and then eats it for herself. It represents the complexity of this whole, this is my prey, I have so many feelings, I need to find my value moment, and it is just so conflictingly mesmerizing is the best way to put it. And I am so happy that we're getting a double-length episode next week to finish this season, because even though I think it's possible to end the show, I shouldn't say the show, but the season and the arc, and obviously leave it open-ended for more seasons or movies, I think a double-length episode is perfect because it gives you enough time to resolve the conflict and give you enough time as a sort of epilogue to calm things down, slow things down, as we transition into the next hurrah, which will probably manage to be even more depressing because as you go deeper and, you know, the more people you meet. the less human and more depressing everything becomes. I quite like just seeing the characters in general, the sacrifices being made. I mean, having Big Daddy over here not only start off by protecting someone who I was like, holy shit. I mean, I wasn't quite expecting him to, end up protecting the group here. But I like the fact that it really came off, not even like when you got the finishing blow with like the helmet being crushed by like a pincer, a talon, I don't know what you want to call that. Just this giant monstrosity's leg. The fact that it just came across like senseless revenge, I wish I could do more for you. And I love the fact that the final person that they saved, right? It ended up being Fapta. And I think after the initial stopping of her kind of colossal death blow, probably made it feel like he betrayed her, but then in the dying moments, I think it kind of came full circle to understand the true motivations from her perspective. Obviously, as the viewer, we knew and had a bit more cool, calm, and collected heads on her shoulders, so it was easier to interpret prior to that. But for a girl who has only ever known rage and revenge, it's understandable, especially given that, the person that I waited for all these years has no memory for me, and what the hell did you do to him sort of a thing. Like, this season of Made in the Abyss is just absolutely incredible, and I really think what makes the show so special at this point in time is that it's honestly impossible to pick sides, and it's hard to pick, like, one character's hands is clean over the others, right? The longer you stay in the Abyss, the longer everyone gets corrupted, because how the hell do you stay sane, stay human, stay having your morals in check when this is the type of shit you have to deal with just to live? And it's interesting, right? Because they bring up the concept of, like, what they might want to do to Riko, because she's an adventurer who would, without a doubt, make a wish that could very much create something even crazier than what was initially created for this Golden City. And that is a pretty frightening concept, because you know damn well this man would absolutely do it if he got the ability to do so. So I'm not sure. There's some worrying aspects. Right now, it doesn't feel like our main cast will die, but I think the thing that makes Made in the Abyss worse than shows where you fear characters living or dying is, like, death isn't the thing that's the most troubling. It's the things that happen to people that are still alive, whether being ripped apart, skin torn, transformed into an abomination, or watching things happen to those close to you that you care for. So for me, death is never the thing I'm really worried about anymore with this show. It's more of what fates worse than death can occur for these characters, and it feels like somehow they manage to always up the ante in ways that never feels like it's trying to one-up itself, but just naturally a real setting, a real abyss that got worse as you went down. It just feels like naturally things would get worse and worse, not because the abyss is trying to one-up itself, just if you're going to live down here, especially on these deepest layers, you're going to be a monster, and there's going to be no human emotions left to really experience. And what is there is very much not what you're used to back on the surface. And directing on point, voice acting on point, storytelling on point, pain. But it's kind of what we expect with Made in the Abyss at this point. Thoughts, feelings, and theories if you got any on the last episode down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.